Aiden Cooper, possibly Sgibs in disguise. He says, I'm having trouble stopping stretch runs and counter runs. How can I stop the run in Madden 17? Gibbs, tell everyone kind of what you've figured out and what we're going to get into right now. This is probably the best tip we're going to give so far in Madden 17.
Yeah, so it all started with recognizing the run fits. So Madden 17 has done a great job of showing you and revamping the way run defense works in the game. And when you're wrong, you got to admit it. And I've been saying, hey, play with auto defensive flip off because you want to be able to set up your blitzes, you want to be able to freeze your defense, and you want to know the position on your field. But what I've discovered is something that is, for the most part, a huge mistake. Huge mistake of what I've been saying is like a great way to play run defense. And we're going to talk about it right here, right now. So first and foremost, we'll go into settings just to show you right here.
So you're now recommending a strategy change,
yes.
Game options,
yes,
auto flip defensive play call on.
On. After
last week we stated off.
On. So first and foremost though, let's just show you what was happening, leaving it off, okay?
Okay.
So I have it off, come out into play. So you guys know notoriously I played early this year a lot of 46 bear. Really aggressive style defense, and let's just kind of like mimic what that sort of looks like. So the bear sort of looks like this, right? The front kind of looked like this. Like this is, for the most part, this is as close as I can. What is that guy doing? That's crazy banana sauce right there. But anyways, the closest thing I can get to you for here is from this formation here. It looks like this. And what I was doing was I'd blitz off this edge, and I would have my defense kind of set up like that, right?
Right.
And that's like, for the most part, what it looked like. So then
right.
I would be like, oh, I'm blitzing 5 guys. I have guys all in the box. This is good run defense. And then I would also do like a line crash. I'd crash my line out, crash it in, depending on whatever the blitz was. So
right.
I was trying to have best of both worlds, like a good run defense and a good pass defense. So then I was just getting crushed on the run.
Right.
Like couldn't contain stretches. I'm like, I got guys on the edge. Like, why can't I stop the run? Like, what's happening? So then I went ahead and like I talked to Will Sykes a little bit, gameplay guy over on the Madden team. And he was like, have you checked your run fits, man? Like, what's going on? And I was like, of course I've checked my run fits.
So here's the thing, okay? And this is the tip. This is part of this large tip of why you can't stop the run. Gibbs was still playing Madden 16.
I was playing Madden 15,
he was
Madden 14,
playing Madden 14,
13, 12,
Madden 25,
yeah.
Madden 15.
10,
9. Run fits is like a beginner. It's an advanced term, but it's like a beginner thing. It's like you're not stopping the run because you're not checking your run fits. Gibbs is like, look, I have 7 guys in every single gap. I know without looking at my run fits, the actual thing in the game, that I'm good at every gap.
Right.
But what we're telling you is you got to actually look at your run fits, and you can do that by simply just pressing the right stick.
Right. Well, not pressing.
Not pressing.
It's
like
flicking to the right, just flicking to the right and flicking to the left. So first off, what I want to show you...
Not the coach cam.
Not
the coach cam
right.
Or trigger right stick, just right stick. I didn't even know, I couldn't find it.
So let's take a look at what this means, right? So right stick, you can see we have a force defender and a cutback defender, and then you can see all your other defenders in the appropriate lanes. Well, first off, I would like to call attention to this linebacker here. He's not in a run fit, and it's because I took him out of the box, right? So first off, when I'm now calling that 46 bear, or if you're setting up a defense and you take someone out of position, guess what he's doing? He's not playing run first now. So now he's like a nickel guy. Like he's not appropriately in a run fit. So this guy's a waste of defender, right? Problem number 1. Problem number 2, I would always blitz this defender off the edge here, Ward. Well, he's the force defender. So what happens when you blitz a force defender, Farls? Guess what? You lose your force defender. So now his first job, his number 1 job on the defense side of the ball as force defender is I must get to the edge. I must not let my guy get outside of me. Well, guess what? When I make him blitz for a pass defense, now his first job is I must get to the quarterback. So he no longer plays containment, and that messes everything up. So now you're taking away all these like pre-baked tools of like helping you have good run defense in the game, and you're destroying them. So let's first take a look at what this looks like. I want you to go in, and I want you to call I-form and call a toss.
Any one or?
Just I-form normal. Same formation we were just in. Call a toss.
Little toss right here. HB toss. Gibbs is going to come out in the 3-4 odd.
3-4 odd. I'm going to come out in the the trio. No, the solid. The old trio Sky Zone. So the thing I want you to notice here is take a look at the force defender, Ward. Let's first show you what a force defender looks like on a normal play. Toss. Okay. I didn't make any adjustments. Go ahead. Toss
He's got the F over his head. He gets out there. He cuts down the blocker.
Did a great job, right? Did a great job.
Bottles everything back up inside.
Now let me be super Sgibs and let me do all my mad scientist moves. Right. Blitz here, blitz there, blitz everywhere. Okay, that's what now my defense looks like.
So you blitz TJ Ward. He's no longer a force defender.
He's no longer a force defender.
But he's still over there. He's still blitzing, but he's not technically on a force assignment.
But take a look at my linebacker. He's supposed to play over there in that gap run support. Well, because I did my fancy setups, he's now way out of position, right? So now you run, TJ Ward loses containment, and voila, now we have the reason why people can't stop the run in Madden NFL 17. So that's the big problem number one right there. So problem number two, it's not so much with a bear, the bear front. It's more with like your other formation. So let's take a look if I come out in the nickel 2-4-5, buck slant 3. So come out in I form again.
Okay.
Come out in the toss. So when you have auto flip on, the game is always going to balance your set appropriately with the offensive set. Now this has never really been a problem, but now with run fits, it really does change a lot of the way the game plays. Like see how my safety up here is supposed to play in run support?
Right.
That's a bad matchup for me because he's way back. I have extra defenders off the left edge. I'm going to get crushed off the right edge. So the game, if you had auto flip on, it would actually play like this. So notice the difference. Look where now our force defender's coming from. Our force defender's coming off the strong side of the ball. That's exactly what you want. Right. And now you use the safety here as a cleanup defender.
In case I go left.
Correct. So now run the ball to the right. Tosses, like, why am I always getting crushed? Why am I always
Look at TJ Ward. He fought way harder to get out there instead of coming down at the angle.
Correct.
But what you would think is this. So you see make TJ Ward the force defender.
What do you mean?
So flip your...
Yeah, well, first, without flipping the play, this is the play we're going to run, right?
Right.
Well, look who my force defender is.
Right.
You know how hard of a job that is for Von Miller to get outside and play force defender?
Right.
Like go ahead and run the play. And Stewart's supposed to be in run fits. He just gets blown off the ball.
Right.
Because that's what's going to happen. He can't get wide, set the edge. And the other problem is Stewart here, he is supposed to play run support. Well, guess what happens if I bring TJ Ward up in the box? He's not in run fit. He's not in run support help by the design of the play. Right? So that means he's not going to do anything. He's going to play pass coverage first. So even if I throw him up in the box, he's not going to do
his chase the ball carrier, but he doesn't have a true assignment. He's not playing with the rest of his teammates.
And then when I'm out here using the safety, I feel like, oh, I'm shooting gaps. But the problem is I'm using a defender that has a specific assignment, and if I don't follow that assignment, I'm going to hurt my run defense. So what happens is I'll take him here, and I'll try to shoot a gap out there, and then my opponent will cut it back up the middle and go for a touchdown.
Right.
So when you have the appropriate adjustment, like auto flip on, the play would actually come out like this. So you'd set your play up. You can still set your blitz up all you want. So I have my blitz set up. Now you have the appropriate running lane set up. Right. And notice now I'm using Stewart. He has no run fit assignment. This makes a great user defender now.
What's TJ Ward's Xena zone?
Yeah.
So
deep zone.
The thought is this.
No, purple.
Okay, so the thought is this, and I've done this. I get super excited. I say, this guy is going to run a toss. So I take TJ Ward, who's already in the perfect assignment for the play, force. I drag him down.
Right.
But since he's in a purple, I'm like, man, he might drop back.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a run, he might drop back, and then he might come down and play.
Right.
So I go, you know what? I'm risking all my eggs. Mm-hmm. I'm taking TJ Ward. I'm dragging him outside, and I'm blitzing him. Because I don't want him to have anything else but just run straight down at the screen.
Right.
And when you blitz him, he loses his force. You think it's better because you're like, I'm saying go.
Watch.
But he's already gonna go and do the right thing.
Literally, I lose he's no longer force.
Right.
But that then becomes the problem, right? And look at now if I rezone him, he's no longer the force anymore. Right. So now I lose my force defender.
So by being aggressive and trying to predict exactly what your guy's gonna do, it potentially can hurt your run defense.
Right.
That's why you got to check the run fits, which is right stick to the right if you think they're running right, or if the run's right, that's what they're going to play. And if the run's left to the left, that's what they're going to play. No coach cam, just the right stick. And you got to work with the cutback and the force defenders.
So let me also show you this. So based on your adjustments, you will change the run fits. You'll change where guys will react. So for example, watch. This is a line crash to the left, and I want you to notice where my cutback. Notice the cutback defender. Notice his job is in that gap. Now watch what happens when I crash my line to the right. Now his responsibility is very different. So now
you're at heavy risk of the counter right
correct.
now.
When I run a crash my line to the right here, I'm in big trouble if you were to run a backside run because this guy's assignment says to go here based on the crash, and now it's going to be difficult for him to get over there. So I would say my recommendation is the best way to have really solid run defense right now is going to be to play standard, like a standard cover 3, and like rely on your pass rush. Because look at the cover 3, like the box is stacked. I have forced defenders, cutbacks, all the appropriate lanes.
You have a user that's not responsible on the defensive line, so you're okay if you have to come in and clean something up. TJ Ward's going to loop wide. He's at least going to get out there and then help you make the tackle. Whereas if you blitz him, he's potentially going to cut in. And same thing, like I played Mark Wildcat. He ran the counter. I would stick 2 guys over there and blitz them, but they might have been going to a different gap. I didn't ever check the run fits, and I was losing containment to the left side like you would. You'd probably lose containment pretty good here to the left side, and that's what was happening when I was playing. We've seen people run those schemes. You the other day ran stretch, or I ran stretch against you.
Yep.
You had 2 guys over there, but they'd either back away from the line of scrimmage or they would head to a gap towards the middle. And I kept pounding the rock, even though my Madden brain is looking at these guys, and I'm like, Gibbs packs 8 in the box every play, 46. I probably shouldn't run it.
Right, but
his guys aren't getting where they need to be, and I'm working.
It would have worked if I don't snap the ball. It would have worked if I didn't do all the other adjustments. So the first thing I want to show you here too is watch. So here's the backside run support. So you have a forced defender, and you can see. Let me just make an adjustment there. So you have your forced defender over here, right? So watch what happens if I were to blitz. Say I wanted to blitz where I'm like, oh, I want to have extra pressure on this play. I blitz where. Well, now look at my forced defender changes. My forced defender is now Davis. That could actually be advantageous for your run defense because he's not on the line of scrimmage. He could get out and scrape now and play a better role. But okay, let's drop him back into the zone now. Right? Zone. Oh, look who the forced defender is now. So you have to be very cognizant of the adjustments you're making, and I'm talking line shifts. I'm talking dropping guys into zone coverage. It's everything. Like TJ Ward did everything he did there. He took out that defender. That's his job. His job is to make the run go back up inside. So that's like the big recommendation there is like notice that. Like you have to notice the adjustments you're making and how it affects your overall run defense. So now, right now we don't have auto flip on. So that's what I'm recommending now. Is we always play with our run auto flip on. Always play with it on. And the reason for it is that you always want to be in the best position possible based on how the game has run fits and all this stuff assigned. If you decide to go rogue, like we've been going, and you're going to do your baseline, you're always going to put yourself in a bad position.
Right.
Like you're going to put yourself in a bad position based on like numbers. So run the ball here real quick. Just, yeah.
So you're recommending auto flip back on first thing.
Yep.
Second thing, you're obviously recommending cover 3. You're recommending checking your run fits with just the right stick, both to the right and to the left.
Yep.
Really using those force and cutback defenders.
Yep. And
then usering number 4 tip would be to user a guy who's not in a run gap assignment.
That's the key. The biggest key.
So you're getting the bonus defender.
This is your bonus defender in run fits. Your biggest key in having great run defense this year, I think even outside of all these things we're saying, is going to be using a defender that's not in a run fit. Because that gives you the bonus that you're looking for. That gives you that +1 advantage, and that's what you want to do. So in this instance right here, and let's not forget, like if you just go to a pass real quick, this doesn't mean that you can't still be set up blitzes, right? So just get rid of the fullback too, put him on a route. Like I'm still gonna get set him on routes. I'm gonna still be able to get pressure with you. Like that's not that like you can no longer get pressure. You just have to be a little bit smarter with what we're gonna do. Like there's pressure screaming off that edge.
Right.
Like we just have to be smarter with the way that we play. So now what happens is we would be just like setup monkeys where it's like, oh, okay, baseline set up, and I'm always gonna set the play up one way. Well, now you have to come out in your play. Your defense is gonna on a flip, and then now you have to know the inverse of the setup, right? right?
Right.
So that would be the next key.
That was my my main thing is if I would play somebody on the couch and I have two linebackers, one of them is blitzing and one of them is manned up on the halfback, I could never tell if I had autoflip left on. I could never tell what was gonna who was supposed to do it, and I could never look at my play art. So that's where I would get lost, and I was like, I'll just keep it off.
Right.
But you do lose a lot in the run game, even though you get the defenders in the right areas, and your Madden brain says I'm winning the math game. They're not necessarily the right assignment. And you want to check that. And I was making that mistake as well. I was making it on like big plays when I would sell out, like 3rd and 1 toss. I'm sniffing it.
Right.
You would make it every down because you would say, I'm going to pack this across.
Right. I was like, I'm going to have good.
But you were working harder, not smarter.
But I was working harder, and I was also taking out my force defenders. I was complete. And
you were using a guy who was.
I wish we had the Bear defense.
Go to the
let me just try 4-4. Let me try 4-4. Let's see, because I want to show you also like you have to be very cognizant of like your line shifts, because your line shifts can really make things wacky. Appropriate. So let me just see the defense. Like this is pretty good. But what I would end up doing from here is I'd crash. I'm crashing my line out, right?
Yeah.
Crash my line out, and I would take this guy.
And you take him out of the run fit.
I'd blitz him off the edge.
Right.
That's terrible for run defense. That's not what you want to do. So now if you were to run the ball to the right edge, like it's not good. Like in that instance, like he over pursues, he's not doing his job. Like his job as a force defender, he should just hang out wide. Like so if I still throw him out there and now run the ball to the right, he should just kind of like chill, like he's like sitting. He's like, I'm not
right, and then he gets super wide and bottles everything up.
Right. Correct. So that's where that comes into play. The other thing is, well, let me see here. Here's a shift. Here's what it looks like. So if I pinch my line, you're not going to get it out of this. Sort of. But see, watch this. Look at the interior linebackers. Watch.
Right.
So that's a line crash out. Right. Look where the middle linebackers are going.
Right. Because your D tackles, while it's great for the blitz because they're going to occupy the guard and the tackle, well, your linebackers are now like, all right, you guys are going out there. Well, we got to go inside. We can't just give up the middle.
Yeah.
We can't just give up an inside. So we're going to go there.
Right.
But you'd rather have your linebackers who are much, much faster go to the edge rather than try and plug the middle unless it's 3rd and 1 or something.
Right. So,
you know?
Right. So now watch this. Watch. Line crash down. Oh. They're going to go to the outside.
Much better.
Let me line shift to the right. Oh. Now that guy's got to play. Oh. Like... It's crazy. It's crazy to think of it this way, but we have to you can still play the aggressive nature and aggressive tone you want. You just have to go a step further. It's going to take you an extra 25 minutes every time you lab a new defense, lab a new blitz, a new scheme.
Because now you got to check your run defenses, and you got to have your run defenses,
which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing,
right?
And I see a couple people in the chat. Someone saying that Zan was recommending go to a cover 4. I'm just curious what a cover 4 is going to look like. Let me just go to. Let's go. So we'll go cover 4, drop, show 2. All right, so Zan's saying cover 4. Here's why this is why Zan's right, and I'll tell you why. This is like when you're playing in the wide 9. This is phenomenal. You have 9 defenders in run fits.
Right.
9 defenders, and so if you put Ward, like watch, I go to cover 3. Check this out. Cover 3. This guy's not in run fit. We're saying user him, so then he becomes the defender.
Right.
But say you're a guy that you want to use the D tackle. Well, the cover 4 is going to give you the stout D because they're all in run fit, right? And by holding the left stick, you can see that.
And they're not blitzing because if you go to your pass coverage,
no, they're not blitzing.
Boom. Right. That's the pass.
Right. So here it is. Right. So in this instance, what I would probably want to do is I spread my linebackers so I get wide with one.
But not re-blitz them. Just put them there.
So now my next thing is this. I would probably use her here. See, this is where messing with your line shifts could actually be advantageous. Like, that's a big responsibility as a user because, like, if you get aggressive here and you blow that, like, that could be gone. So if I line shift Like maybe that, maybe here.
Tough to get to.
Okay, I line shift down, no run fit. It's putting the onus on my D tackle. So now I say, okay, if I line shift down, I need to get a big dog D tackle. He now is responsible as a 2-gap system if I line shift down.
Never been available before.
Never been available, but when you line shift down, you now make him. It's absolutely mind blowing. It's mind boggling. Like. The breadth and the depth of how you can play defensively when you start really looking at those run fits. Like something as simple as crash the line down right there. Now you're making your defensive tackle play a 2-gap system. So you want to be a team, go out here, play all this. Look at that.
Look at Ware just do his job. Whereas you would think if you slid him out and blitzed him, he would do the same job. Because in previous Maddens, we had to create our own force defenders. We had to be the force defender with our user.
That's what we always say.
We had to be the force defender with positioning guys, but now they just have those behaviors actually built in, and they can think independently, and they can be as part of a defense kind of for the first time. So, pretty good stuff. If you're a good player, don't outsmart yourself. I think we were doing that.
So they question in chat. They said, "Well, is Sgibs cover 2 invert run defense gone?" The answer is no. Remember what we said. We got to go cover 3. You call the cover 3 as a standard run defense, and why is that good? Well, that's good now because you have a deep safety that is not in run fit, and now you look at I'm in cover 3, play up in the box. I can run with this guy.
That
feel
is
confident.
the cover 2 invert.
That's the cover 2 invert, and the reason it's cover 2 invert is right there. I'm taking the deep safety away, and I'm playing an inverted cover 2. Right? I want to see what this looks like though. Hold on. If I crash my line down again, doesn't change. It doesn't change the responsibilities of the linebackers. It's really interesting that cover 4 gives you that value.
Great value.
So cover 4 is the D. You know what's great about that? What that means is now you come out in cover 4, you got cover 3, cover 2, you got all your defenses available to you.
Yeah.
Love it. Do you have any last tips to add to this?
I would just say, guys, so the 5 things to remember is, number 1, turn your auto flip on. Number 2 is check your run fits with the right stick, not the coach cam in the right stick, just the right stick. You can check it to the right, and it will tell you these are the guys if they run the ball right. You can check it to the left. These are the guys if you run your ball left. You want to note your force in your cutback defenders. Number 3, you want to use the guy in the deep zone or a defender who is not in a run fit, preferably, so that you don't have an assignment to get to and you can kind of just roam free. Number 4, you want to see how your line crashes kind of affect what you do. And number 5 is you don't want to get overzealous and you've got to play the way the run fits are having you play. You can't just. I did it the other day. I knew a guy was going to do a toss. Mm-hmm. I took my nickel corner.
Yep.
It was like a goal line play. I chucked him out wide and I blitzed him.
Yeah.
He got sucked inside and the guy ran it right around and I was right on stream. I was like, but I put him out there.
Right.
Reward me.
Right.
But he was probably already in a force assignment and I just took him out of it.
Correct.
And there was no
the pressure's
reward.
on us now to recognize.
So now you got to really be looking before the snap. That's why playing online is crucial, especially if you're going to go to in-person thing, because you can't check all this stuff in person. You got to start to figure it out like we already knew it in the past.
So this is something that's interesting to take a look at, right? So I call him out on cover 4. This is why you always have to look at your run fits. Look at this defender, Roby. His run fit is in the middle of the field. So this in cover 4, that's not something that we want, right?
Right.
So if you line shift, what I'm thinking here is okay, come out in cover 4. What if I just blitz him? I'm not going to lose because I'm in cover 4 and have all those extra defenders where I need him to be.
Right.
The problem is now you got to get Stewart up, him to play and run support.
Master Gamer, who's very high on the leaderboard, I believe number 1 for a good chunk so far early. He says 3-3-5 wide, cover 4 flip, baseline press. That will stop the stretch. He's labbed it based off of kind of our feedback, and he's had success. So definitely look into that. But
3-3-5 cover 4.
3-3-5 wide.
All right.
Cover 4.
Come out on a stretch.
Let's see if we can find ourselves a stretch, a little outside zone, as they like.
I like what Hope's recommendation. Hope said it would be great if you could have it I want auto flip on for this formation only.
Yeah, that would be good.
So, okay, this is interesting. So yeah, so now it makes sense because Roby's not going to play on the strong side. He's not going to play in run fit.
Right.
On the back side, he can.
Right.
So you're in a cover 4. He's the cutback, so you got to be careful here. You have a force. Yeah, I could see how this would work really well.
Yeah, if I went this way especially, too. Like, he's going to potentially get wide. He got blocked there.
Yeah,
But,
it's all right.
yeah. So, definitely some good stuff to check out. Yeah, you just got to have sound run fits.
Now,
that's why I like the deuce close guys on offense so much, is because if you see them stack one side, you're so balanced. You're so quickly so balanced, you can just go to the other side.
3-4 odd, cover one robber. I'm just looking at this. I'm thinking of sound, like football stuff. Like,
yeah.
So cover one is typically a great run support formation or defensive scheme because your safety typically plays up in the box and you're in man-to-man coverage, right? So I just want to see what it looks like. So here it is. Yeah. So the safety would be up in the box, like so. You have a one free defender to run with. So the problem is with this, you wouldn't have a. So look at you always have to check. I don't have a force defender.
Right. That's why I can I quickly flip this. Say I was in the deuce. Potentially.
But I do have a force defender if I don't run.
Yeah.
I do. So I do have a force defender if I were to drop my linebacker into coverage. So now I have a force defender. So now if you run, go. Look at the guy. Set the edge. Get the edge. Get the edge. Get the edge. Get the edge. Bang.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's tough, but those are the tips you want to do, and you will improve your run defense. Don't take yourself out of the game by overthinking it. We've been doing that,
yeah,
and that is how it's done. That's how you need to think. You need to now lab. We'll get into blitzes later.